Studio 31.
The Storm Alert Weather Team, the station with the most experienced meteorologists. First, fast, accurate. You're watching WSBT 22 News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. New at 11, a state representative is hoping Indiana can be the 38th state to legalize medical marijuana. This push comes after Mississippi made the move to legalize earlier this week. WSBT 22's Ronnie Das is at the live desk, and Ronnie, some also believe this could be significant for Indiana.
That's right, Erica. I spoke with Representative Maureen Barr, and who says that the governor, Senate, and House are controlled by Republicans, the same as Indiana. And while she admits it's a long road ahead, the Mississippi bill opens up an opportunity to discuss legalizing medical marijuana in the Hoosier state. Unlike Michigan, Indiana does not allow citizens to put medical marijuana legalization on the ballot.
It was up to the legislature, and there were a number of bills that were introduced this session, but unfortunately they didn't really progress forward on that topic of medical marijuana.
Representative Maureen Bauer says 80% of Hoosiers support medical cannabis, adding that the process will not be easy.
There has been some pushback from leadership in the governor's office who opposed any changes to what the federal law is.
Now that Mississippi has legalized medical marijuana, the representative sees an opportunity for Indiana to follow suit.
Mississippi that has the same party balance that Indiana does, with the one-party rule in the House, the Senate, and a Republican governor, we can see an example of what we can achieve.
She says it's not a matter of if the discussion happens in Indiana, but a matter of when.
I was encouraged when the governor did say that he would like to see a path forward for legalization.
Representative Bauer says the issue is finding the first step in that path forward.
There is a bill that was introduced in the House by Representative Arrington that just creates what legalization would look like, a simple study, testing, labeling, all of that. But unfortunately, that didn't move forward.
That means the earliest a new bill could be proposed is in 2023. Representative Bauer says legalizing medical marijuana is vital for the health of Hoosiers.
Medical cannabis will relieve a lot of the pressure that people use opioids for, or veterans and others with chronic pain.
Representative Bauer says even though a law can't be passed through voting on a ballot, calling your local representative and asking them to consider a legislative bill can make a difference. At the live desk, Ronnie Das, WSBT 22 News.
Thank you, Ronnie. A man is lucky to be alive tonight after he fell through ice on Lake Michigan. And this happened in Chicago. But authorities say the man did not realize he was walking on ice before he fell through. They used an inflatable raft to rescue him, and Chicago police cited the man for disorderly conduct. And the ice shelf has recently formed on our side of the lake, but Lynnette, there's a number of safety concerns along with this, right?
The biggest problem is that ice shelf, it builds off of the shore rather than deep into the water, so there's water flowing under that ice. Speaking of ice, when we look at ice coverage on the Great Lakes, the majority of the water is still liquid water rather than ice. Even on our lake shores, you can see that our southern shores have a little bit more ice compared to you go further to the north, areas like Benton Harbor and South Haven. Not as much. That's because today the wind was able to break up some of that ice. Now, when we take a live look at South Haven, I know it's difficult to see because it's night, but you see that ice. It's not very thick at this point, but we do have that ice shelf developing. This is actually going to continue to develop, I should say, because our temperatures have been cold. We had highs today only right around 20 degrees. Some of you didn't even see 20s. Now, we are going to warm up tomorrow. We will be near 30 for that high temperature, which is a far cry from where we are now. We have more 30s on the way in the upcoming week. In fact, in a few minutes in my full forecast, I'll show you how many days of the next 7 we get to see those highs crack 30 degrees.
Sounds chilly, Lynnette. Thank you. And remember, you can stay ahead of our wintry weather conditions anytime with the WSBT 22 Storm Alert Weather app. And it includes the latest school and business closings as we get them, current watches and warnings, and live storm tracker radar. And it's free download in the Apple App Store and in Google Play. New at 11, the man who shot and killed 4 people at a Nashville Waffle House has been sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The sentence comes after 2 hours of emotional testimony from the families and loved ones of those who were killed. 33-year-old Travis Reinking opened fire inside the restaurant early in the morning during April 2018. And yesterday, jurors rejected his insanity defense, finding him guilty of 16 charges, including 4 counts of first-degree murder. And now 2 people have been killed and another 2 were injured at an apartment complex in a Milwaukee suburb early this morning. Police say one of the injured people is in critical condition and the suspect is in custody. The suspect allegedly fired shots at police from a second-floor balcony when they arrived, but police did not shoot back. The names and ages of the victims haven't been released yet, but police say no children were hurt and no word yet on a motive. The U.S. hit a grim milestone this week with the death toll from the coronavirus pandemic passing 900,000. But there is progress being made as new cases are down in most of the country. But some health experts stress the war against this virus has not been won. John Lorinc reports.
More than 2,000 people are dying from COVID-19 every day on average, according to Johns Hopkins University.
The toll has been horrible and will continue to be horrible for several weeks as deaths lag cases.
As for new cases, there are signs of hope in the U.S. as they're down in nearly every state. That's leading some municipalities to consider easing mask mandates. On Friday, Denver, Colorado ended its indoor mask rule altogether. And while health experts are happy with the downward trend in cases,
we're right now dropping rapidly, and we've had all these spikes, and we've yet to see whether there'll be another surge after this one. So I think it's too premature to call this the beginning of sort of the endemic stage of this virus.
they're continuing to sound the alarm about the dangers of remaining unvaccinated. The CDC says unvaccinated people are 97 times more likely to die from COVID compared to those who are vaccinated and boosted.
I ask, what are you afraid of as far as the vaccine? What is it that you worry about when you see hundreds of millions of doses given in this country? The safety profile has been extraordinarily safe.
I'm John Lorinc reporting.
Roughly 64% of the U.S. population is fully vaccinated, and more than 25% have also had a booster shot, according to the CDC. Crews in Morocco worked desperately to rescue a young boy who fell down a well. Next at 11, an update on the rescue efforts. And here's a live look outside right now in South Bend. Still a good amount of snow out there with frigid temperatures. Lynnette will be back with a look at your storm alert forecast.
Female athletes.
There's absolutely a gender difference.
High impact threat.
There's always an increased risk for concussions for female athletes.
Spotlight on America investigates.
There's a long history in medical research of doing studies on boys and men.
Gender gap.
You're missing half the picture, I think, for concussion if you're not including half the population in your research.
High risk female concussions.
First to cover breaking news with Erica Finke. Your accurate storm alert forecast with meteorologist Lynnette Grant and sports with Samantha Waddell. You're watching WSBT-22 News at 11.
A sad ending today after a massive effort to save a little boy trapped in a Morocco well. The Moroccan Royal Palace says 5-year-old Ryan has died. Ryan fell down the 100-foot well on Tuesday, and rescuers worked for 4 days to dig a parallel trench in order to free the boy. The work was difficult and slow going because of unstable soil surrounding the well. A record-setting jobs report for President Joe Biden this week. The January report pushed the total number of jobs added during Biden's first year in office to 6.6 million. That's the strongest record of any president's first year. In comparison, 2 million jobs were added in the first 12 months of former President Donald Trump's tenure. The jobs report shows signs of the economy bouncing back after the heavy blow it took from the pandemic. Ford Motor Company says Google is joining the car maker's effort to transform a broken-down Detroit train station into a research hub. The company made the announcement yesterday, saying the hub will focus on electric and self-driving vehicles. The state of Michigan has agreed to provide infrastructure and other support. This plan includes the defunct train depot and other nearby buildings in the historic Corktown neighborhood.
I was sick and tired of driving by this building all the time and having this be the poster child for the decay of Detroit. And I wanted to do something about that. And we're now I think, very much in the process of turning this from a national punchline into a national treasure.
The state will provide more than $126 million worth of programming and resources.
I've decided this will be my last Olympics, and with that, I've been giving it my all. There's been some ups and downs along the way to get here, but through all of that, I feel like I've gotten stronger, gotten better. And
snowboarder Shaun White says the Beijing Games will be his last Olympics. The 35-year-old says a series of injuries led his decision to retire. He's currently taking part in his 5th Olympics, and once dubbed the Flying Tomato because of his flowing red hair. White has won 3 half-pipe Olympic gold medals since his Winter Games debut at Turin in 2006. And 'tis the season for winter fun here in Michiana, and new tonight, the Dowagiac Ice Time Festival is back. Ice carvers created works of art out of 300-pound blocks of ice on Front Street. There was also Valentine's crafts, the chili crawl, and an ice cream eating contest at Caruso's Candy and Soda Shop. The owner of Caruso's says the Ice Time Festival helps bring people in and around Dowagiac to the downtown area.
Well, the festivals are great because it does bring people from out of town here that are going to see what we've got in our downtown area. We've got a beautiful downtown area with a lot of neat specialty shops.
This year, the Ice Time Festival is celebrating 25 years in the community. Tonight in South Bend, an auction benefit was held to support a program helping people with disabilities. It's the 24th year for the Kelsey Marie Meekoff Memorial Dinner and Auction. The event funds Reins of Life, an organization that brings people with disabilities together with horses as physical therapy alternatives. Hosts Mark and Carla Meekoff started the auction years ago when their daughter with cerebral palsy attended the organization. She has since passed away, but the Meekoffs say this event keeps her memory alive.
Well, this morning we had about 1 to 3 inches of snow, depending on where you live. And we have more chances of snow in the forecast. I'll show you how many more days we have to deal with it in just a few minutes.
It's Hometown Living's Valentine's Day giveaway. Sign up February 1st through the 10th for your chance to win a prize worth more than $800. One winner will be announced February 11th on Hometown Living. Take a chance and sign up at WSBT.com.
Ion Health, sponsored by Beacon Health System, Tuesday at 5 on WSBT-22.
Now, your accurate storm alert weather forecast with meteorologist Lynnette Grant.
Now, even though our temperatures today were still below freezing, we had a lot of sunshine, and that helped to melt all of that slush and ice on the roads. This is a live look at Maine and Douglas and Mishawaka, and conditions are looking a lot better. Now, it's still cold. We have temperatures at 14 degrees under clear skies, but we are actually going to see these temperatures not change a whole lot through the night. Most of us sit in the teens right now, but due to a south breeze, we're actually going to see our temperatures start to warm after midnight. So our low temperature, that's going to occur just after midnight. We're going to see these temperatures continue to warm through the night rather than cool down. That's all due to this, a south or southwest breeze. It is going to do 2 things. It's going to build our temperatures for tomorrow, but it is also going to increase moisture. The reason for it, it's because we're kind of in the middle of that warm sector. You don't have a lot going on right now on storm tracker radar, but a wider view shows the warm front well to the north, cold front to the west. Now, as this cold front swings through the Great Lakes, it will bring our next chance at snow, and that will arrive by Sunday night into Monday morning. During the day tomorrow, we are not tracking any snow. We'll have sunshine to start the day. In the afternoon, clouds will start to build ahead of that cold front, but we're not going to see any snow until we get into the early morning hours of Monday. High temperatures tomorrow right around 30. So a little bit warmer for the day tomorrow compared to what we saw today by about 10 degrees or so. And again, full of sunshine. We're going to do a lot more melting of that slush that's on the road. The ground, at least the snow on the ground, should stay put because our temperatures are not going to warm above freezing until next week. You can see the clouds starting to build overnight Sunday into Monday, and that's when that little wave of snow does move in just in time for Monday morning. You may have a little bit of accumulating snow to deal with on your morning commute. Otherwise, we're not going to see any issues into the afternoon. The snow itself is going to be very light. I'm not expecting anything more than a dusting to less than an inch for the majority of Michiana. Berrien County could be looking at a little bit over an inch. Overall, not going to be a major impact on this snow, and it should be that light, fluffy snow as well. I think the bigger impact on Monday will be falling temperatures. Our highs are going to be in the mid to upper 20s, but it's going to be very early in the morning. By Monday afternoon, we are likely going to see our temperatures in the low 20s, but it will feel more like the low teens when you factor in a northwest breeze. Now, in terms of that snow chance that I talked about, we have a small chance of snow Monday morning. We head into next week, Wednesday and Thursday. That's going to be the next chance at seeing snow. But again, it's a fairly small chance, only around a 30% chance or so. But you know, after the snow we had last week, we are only about 6 inches below where we should be. So we are slowly starting to get closer to where we should be for snowfall totals this year. No snow overnight tonight. It's just cold. Our low will fall to around 12, but that's going to be right around midnight because by the afternoon tomorrow, we're going to climb to right around 30 degrees and we'll keep the sunshine for the first half of the day. Clouds build a little later. More 30s though return for next week. So it's not going to be bitterly cold all week. We get a little bit of a warm up with that chance of light snow.
Wow, warm, 30 degrees.
I know, right?
Groundbreaking. Well, thank you, Lynnette.
You're welcome.
High school girls sectional title games taking place around the area. Samantha takes us courtside next in sports.
Students facing anxiety, stress, too much pressure, enduring what local schools are calling a dire situation, a counselor crisis in Michiana.
With our student leadership team, I've asked them what are the biggest things that we need to focus on here at Constantine High School, and the very first thing out of their mouth was student mental health.
Operation Education investigates what's being done to make sure your kids are getting the help they need. Don't miss Operation Education, Monday at 6 on WSBT-22. We first alerted you days in advance.
We've been watching these computer models for about a week. Overnight, we are all snow.
This is going to be a major winter storm.
We told you about the snow.
We're going to see between 6 and 12 inches.
Alerting your family.
Seriously, start thinking about if you have younger children and you need to have childcare.
Staying with you until the threat had passed.
We're at the tail end in St. Joseph right now, about 13.8 inches.
The WSBT-22 Storm Alert Weather Team. First, fast, accurate. Now, sports with Samantha Waddell.
It's the bittersweet part of the high school basketball season. As teams meet on the hardwood, one team advances to the next level while the other sees their season come to an end. We start tonight in Class 4A with the Mishawaka Sectional Championship title game. The Mishawaka Cavemen taking on the Plymouth Pilgrims, who topped them in the regular season. Plymouth's Claire Sheedley gets us going with the first bucket of the night. Look at that, and it's a thing of beauty. It'll then be Mishawaka's Kasha Dvadkovic with a great pass to Aisha Schaefer for the bucket. Plymouth quickly responds. It'll be Sophie Miller who gets the rebound and the bucket. Mishawaka says, hold on one second, we need some action. Jaden Handley making it look so easy with defenders in her face. She sinks the layup, and Plymouth says, hold on, we got to get some more action. It's Kaylee Drangley with the three-pointer at the halftime buzzer. Plymouth wins this game 51-44. Now let's head to Class 3A, where there is no debate. It is the toughest sectional in the state, with a championship game featuring number 1 Washington and number 8 Marion. These two teams met here last year, and the Panthers knocked the Knights out of the postseason. Who will take the title tonight? We get started in the second half, and Washington's up 34-13. Marion's Megan McCormick chucks it down, but Amaya Reynolds says, hold on, gets a steal, sends it out to Rashonda Jones. Rashonda takes it in for the layup, and Washington will lead 41-15 at the half. Now Marion's Kendall Bethel drives it in and gets the layup to make it 41-17 Panthers. And Kira Reynolds gets some sister action, gets the big sister Mila for the three to make it 44-17 Washington. The Panthers leading 61-24 at the end of the third quarter. Bethel to Nevaeh Foster, who rattles the nets as she sinks the three to make it 67-32. Kira Reynolds will find Raya Wilson in the corner, sinks the three, and Washington's defense was stifling, and their offense was electric as the Panthers take the sectional title with a 76-44 win over Marion.
Extremely proud. I think at the beginning of the year, I said, you know what, I know we're one of the most talented teams in the state, but I knew we weren't a good team yet. And so to put this performance on the court right now and execute the way we did and take the air out of the gym, so to speak, was an amazing feeling.
Other 3A sectional championship matchups at the Knox sectional, Culver Academy topped Kankakee Valley 59-27. At Northwood, West Noble defeated Tippecanoe Valley 56-51. And in 2A at the Fairfield sectional, Fairfield won 49-46. Now in Class 4A for the Penn sectional, the semifinals, they were postponed last night due to weather. Elkhart defeats Concord 45-34, and Penn defeated Warsaw 42-30. Elkhart and Penn will meet on Tuesday in their championship game. Notre Dame men's basketball makes their final stop of the three-game road trip in Raleigh. The Irish on the hunt for their second win over the NC State Wolfpack for just the second time in 11 days. We get going in the second half, and Fighting Irish are up by 5. It'll be freshman Blake Wesley who shows you how it's done. Drives it in and gets the layup, and the Irish, they lead by 7. Just moments later, NC State's down by 4, and the shot clock's winding down. Cam Hayes drains the three to make it a 1-point game. Game side at 40, and it's Wesley who takes it down the lane for the one-handed slam. Irish take the lead. Then it's Casey Morsell who says, hold on. He's going to get the steal and take it down the court to Taquavion Smith for the monster dunk. Smith finished with 19 points, and NC State's only trailing by 4. With 6 minutes to go, Trey Wertz dishes it out to Paul Atkinson for the two-handed flush. Atkinson finished with 15 points and 10 rebounds. Notre Dame wins 69-57.
Not going to escape without a run from NC State, and they made a great one. And we really recovered. We've been in this situation before where we've come out of timeouts after a team has made a run on us in the second half, and we've made a run right back, and we really did. We were efficient. Our zone helped us, went zone, and that really helped us. And I'm really proud of our group because, you know, we had to do it without Leshevsky most of the game. It's a bruise, so, you know, it's nothing structural, so he should be, hopefully he should be back Wednesday. But I'm really proud of our group, man. We're a confident group, especially on the road. I think that's 5 road wins now. And but we got a chance. We got a chance. A lot of work to do, but we've done a lot of work already. We put a lot of money in the bank. Today helped.
In some Big Ten basketball was a big matchup between number 4 Purdue Boilermakers and the Michigan Wolverines. First half, Boilers up by 6. Jaden Ivey drives it in and throws it down with a one-handed dunk. Purdue up by 8. Just moments later, Ivey's back again in transition. Slams it home. Purdue up by 6 at the halftime. Now second half we will go. Wolverines trailing by 3. Hunter Dickinson knocks in the long-range jumper. Dickinson finishes with a career-high 28 points. Michigan is down by 1. Later in the second, Boilers up by 5, and it's Ivey again who finishes with a strong dunk. Purdue wins this game 82-76. What a big game. Big milestones in this game for Boilers head coach Matt Painter. He gets his 400th career win, while Purdue becomes the very first Big Ten team with 1,000 wins in regular season conference play.
That is impressive.
1,000.
They're so good.
They are very good. They're fun to watch.
They are. I mean, for the Big Ten, they have me a little bit scared for the Fighting Irish sometimes, so we'll have to see how it goes for March Madness.
Exactly. It should be a good one.
Thank you, Samantha. We'll be right back.
This Friday night, scoop it up with the most experienced sports team in Michiana. The shots, the blocks, the passes, and the dunks. Sports Director Pete Byrd will bring you all the best b-ball and scores from schools around the area. Only one team can claim the highlight of the night. Don't miss all the action. Watch Hoop It Up Friday at 11 on WSBT-22.
Big big day for the Queen of England. Britain's Queen Elizabeth II will celebrate her Platinum Jubilee. That's 70 years on the throne. Can you believe that?
Oh.
And that makes her the longest serving monarch. So Her Majesty ascended to the throne February 6th, 1952, when her father, King George VI, died unexpectedly. Buckingham Palace will host a music concert, among other events, in her honor. Is that just crazy? Lynnette, that was you saying earlier that she would have been 25 when she got the throne.
Right around her mid-20s when she assumed the throne. So that's, you know, right around our age. Imagine us assuming, I said right around. So
yeah, that's insane.
Imagine that. I cannot imagine assuming the role of a queen.
I can't. I can barely even scrape my car in the morning. I'm like 25 years old and I can't do that.
And the good news is the chances we have for snow this week are very small. It's just going to stay cold for a few days before 30s return next week.
All right, sounds nice and toasty. But our next news is tomorrow morning at 6, and you can stay up to date with the WSBT 22 News app. Good night.